I wanted to address a question that came in because I feel like a lot of people are dealing with this question. Hello, Dawn. Is it possible the global pain of our society affects me so much it's almost as if I feel the dying within myself? I'm not sure if I have the words to express how strong of a sensation it is, feeling the global pain. Yes, this is something I've experienced as well as an empath. For those of us who are highly sensitive, it can feel very overwhelming to experience the magnitude of how much suffering is everywhere in the earth. Whether it's the human realm, the animal realm, the ecology. In general, there's this overwhelming sense of dread, psychologically as well. I too have experienced this overwhelm, and it can bring a feeling of heaviness to you. A feeling like you don't even know how to grieve it because it's so huge, it's so much further beyond you. It's this magnified feeling of how much sorrow and how much grief and trauma there is happening collectively. And those of us who are highly sensitive can sense what's happening in the magnetic field. And it can fill you up with a lot of grief and sorrow that isn't necessarily yours to own. I've always been in tune with a certain level of that knowledge and that feeling. But I remember that when I was going through my own processing of my own trauma and healing work, I became much more hypersensitive to what was happening in the collective. And at a certain point, it began to overwhelm me and actually created suicidal ideation within me because I didn't know how to deal with it. The suffering was so immense. So I want to say that what helped me to deal with the suffering, with the knowledge, was to accept what is happening psychologically. As highly sensitive beings, we can feel a sense of overwhelm very easily, even when the things that we're experiencing are beyond our control. So in order to learn to cope with that level of immense suffering, but not be destroyed or controlled by it, it's important to learn to accept that you have limited capacity to actually do something about the pain and suffering of all beings on the planet. It's important that you understand that you have a certain amount of ability that you can enact with what's in front of you and what's coming through you. But you cannot take on the ownership of the totality of the suffering. It's not fair to you as a human being. You are able to transmute through love and through helping awaken and evolve and heal the beings around you, but you're not able to change the pattern of suffering that's going to exist forevermore. It's very important to understand how to use your heart and also how to use your mind, and so that neither of them become overwhelmed. I have learned how to integrate my heart and mind and use them as a team. So if my heart is feeling overwhelmed, then I go to my mind and I say, what can we do? And my mind will tell me that we have a limited capacity for what we're able to achieve in this scenario. We cannot reduce the suffering for all beings, but what we can do is within our grasp. Maybe that is making life better for something else around us or someone else around us. And also working on our own grief and our own pain, and really working through with our own emotions and our own trauma so that we can be the best version of ourselves. The heart and mind can learn to work as a team in this way. Sometimes the mind wants to be the driver, but if you're working in an integrated way, your mind is not trying to be the driver. Your mind is listening to the heart, and it knows what critical thinking is and how to actually work through problem solving in a logical way. So you can have both intelligences intact. You can have the intelligence of the heart, your natural intelligence, your soul level intelligence, and the intelligence of the educated mind intact together, working as a team. The most important thing to use when you do feel this overwhelm is to allow your emotions to grieve, to let them out of your body. You don't want to hold that stuff in because it can really make you sick. It can make you not want to participate in life. It can make you lose all hope. And then the mind can create secondary stories of nothing's worth it, all is lost, what can I do? But the truth is, there's always something that you can do to make the world a better place. It can be the smallest thing, or it can be a very big thing. Really just look at the circumstances around you and be realistic about what is fair to you and what you can do any day and any moment to make this world a better place. Suffering will always exist. Suffering can happen externally and it can happen internally. So really helping to heal yourself and make yourself whole and vibrant and radiant, that is what the world needs most. People who shine with the light of love from inside of them. Not so much always people who will become martyrs and change the suffering. Suffering is important to try to reduce, but there are situations where you can cause greater suffering if you're not caring for yourself in the right way. And know that what you feed your mind, what kind of images you're bringing into your mind, if you're watching stories that are traumatic, if you're watching too much of the news, if what you're taking in is causing you more and more trauma and torment, then learn to consciously curate what you feed your mind. Learn to balance that out with healthy, hopeful, vibrant truths too. The world is not just a suffering and damaged place. It's also a beautiful, miraculous, evolving, changing place. So make sure that what you're feeding yourself in your spiritual and conscious mind is valuable to you and your evolution. I hope this helps, and I hope that you know that you're not alone, that those who go through a lot of feelings that can be difficult to process when they're not ours, but really paying attention to what you allow to affect you internally is part of the key. If you have any further questions or anybody else has anything to add to this layer of conversation, I invite you to please add that in the comments section below. And if you have any questions or situations you would like to ask me about, please reach out to me on my website at Dawn the Empath. I love you all. Be well.